Welcome to Today in Prophecy, our daily news update. News in what I'm attempting to do 15 minutes or less. Well, let's start here. Venezuela is on the brink of a civil war. I guess this shouldn't really surprise us that much as we look at different dynamics of everything that's taking place in this world. The tinderbox election in Venezuela is it's on the brink of this civil war after both Vladimir Putin's pal Nicolas Maduro and the opposition party declared victory. So the tinderbox election has seen autocrat Maduro threaten a bloodbath if he loses the standoff. Folks, I'm just going to say this. This is real simple. We're going to watch more and more of this, not just from these countries like that, but right here in America. I mean, what are they threatening? If Trump wins, it's the end of America. Well, I tell you this much: if Kamala Harris gets in there, it's the end of America as you know it. So we do have this very real thing that's taking place. But over in Venezuela, a bloodbath, real civil war. We watch again what's happening in certain countries over in Europe. We remember the words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 24, nation will rise against nation. That term nation comes from the Greek word ethnos, get our English word ethnic, and it means people group against people group. That these things will explode they'll grow exponentially in frequency and intensity, like birth pains upon a pregnant woman, as we get closer and closer to the coming tribulation period. We see chaos, we see lawlessness. If Jesus says lawlessness will abound, what we've seen so far is nothing compared to what is predicted and prophesied about for the coming tribulation period. But here we see in Venezuela, and just listen to what's taking place here in America. We see this communist march. I don't know how many of you guys saw that the other day. The communist march, I believe, is in Philadelphia. So we're watching these things. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow a little bit more. But we got all of these different things that are taking place. And man, it's like, hold on, better have your seatbelt fastened. All right, next story. Russian warships make new visit to Cuba. What's this? Is it really happening? In show of growing ties, Russian warships make new visit to Cuban waters. Cuban defense officials have announced the latest port call last week, calling the arrival of the Russian warships a show of friendship and collaboration. I mean, okay, now we look at this. So when did this take place? It was last week. But you're looking at it going, okay, what do we have? We have no leader in America. Who do you think is leading the United States of America? What kind of signal are we sending here in America to China? What are we sending to the guy over in North Korea or Iran? And we watched what just happened the other day with Hezbollah and the attack against the Israeli Druze community, just killed 12 children. So we look at that, and we look at what kind of message do we send to Putin when we have no leader in America? I mean, Biden was bad, and now we've gone from really bad to what we have now. It's just it's astounding to see the collapse of America. But I look and think we have passed the Rubicon. We've come to the place of the reprobate mind, where God says, I'll turn them over to reprobate mind. And you look at these things. So what do you think is going to happen? The Putins of the world, the Xi Jinpings, they're empowered by what they see happening in America. Will they strike before the election, thinking this is our only opportunity just in case Trump gets elected? Or will they hold off in case Trump gets elected because they know there will be great retaliation? Listen, they strike now. What do you think America would do? I think absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Who's running America? So you look at these things, well, of course, you have these warships, Russian warships, making their way to Cuba. Okay, Copenhagen, moving on to the next story. You've got a lot of stories. Copenhagen is nudging residents and tourists to accept a social credit system. The city of Copenhagen, Denmark, has recently introduced a CopenPay system to reward tourists for taking green actions, such as using public transportation or cycling. These rewards include access to cultural experiences and free vegetarian meals. They can count me out on that one right now. I'm not a vegan. I'll tell you what might get me on board is, hey, you're going to get some really choice prime cut of ribeye steaks. I might be on to, or a really good burger, maybe some great tacos with real meat, some carne asada or something like that. Maybe some carnitas. I mean, but you're going to get a vegan meal if you're part of the social credit system. So really, this should be a you can't make this up story. It should have been. But they're actually offering that. They're going to attract some people, no doubt about it. The people who are already voting for the social credit system, they'll attract them. Hey, I want to ask you if you would please like, subscribe, and share these videos. Help us combat the lies with the truth. People ask me all the time, what can we do to make a difference? That's one way. It's free to do that. It'd be great if you would. We really do appreciate it. And it helps us to be able to get the message out there, to combat the lies with the truth. And if it's a way that you can join us in that. And I just want to thank you in advance. All right. Now we have the attack of the Israeli Druze community in northern Israel the other day. So look at this. Hezbollah, Lebanon, or Iran, who should bear the brunt of Israel's response? And then you have, obviously, the analysis. Who will it be? Whose fault was it? Who was behind all of this? You know, you look at these things that are going on here, we know ultimately, this is what we all know, right? Iran is behind all of this. And think of the billions of dollars that the U.S. government has given to Iran, yet Iran funds all of their arms, their proxies, whether it be the Houthis or Hamas or Hezbollah, whatever it is. It's Iran that is funding them. And by the way, it's John Kirby from the White House who, when he's given his press release just the other day, he admitted that protests here in America, these anti-Israel protests, are funded by Iran. Have you seen some of the protests going on during the Olympics, during the games? Wow. In fact, I'll do this one this week too. I'll show you the video of it. You have, when it was time to play the Hatikvah, the Israeli national anthem. Beautiful music. What do you have? You have people, fans in the stands giving that Nazi salute. Evil stuff going on. Who is funding all these protests? Iran is funding much of it, and then others is just the natural anti-Semitism that so many people have. You go, unbelievable. But who's going to bear the brunt of Israel's response? Well, Benny Gantz said we must retaliate. We can tear Lebanon apart. National Unity Chairman, Minister Knesset Benny Gantz called on Israel to strike Lebanon in response to the massacre in Magdal Shams, but to first formulate a strategic plan. Israel National News. When are they going to strike? If you watched the video that I did yesterday with Pastor Brandon Holthouse, go back and check it out. We got the details. What's going to happen? What will Israel do? Israel will respond. When will they respond? How will they respond? It's not going to be a light response. It's going to be devastating. Prime Minister Netanyahu promises we will not be silent following strike on soccer field. Citizens of Israel, just like you, I was horrified. I was horrified to see the terrible pictures following Hezbollah's murderous attack on Magdal Shams. We will not let this pass in silence, says Netanyahu. So they won't. Something's going to happen, but when will it happen? Don't know yet, but it is going to happen. Next story. Turkish President Erdogan threatens to invade Israel during a party meeting. The president said that just as we entered Karabakh in Libya, we will do the same to Israel. Listen, you read those words and we can think this is never going to happen. No, it is going to happen. It's not going to happen the way he currently says, but these people hate Israel. They hate the Jews. We see it everywhere. We've been talking about it. But in Ezekiel chapter 38, we do know Russia, Iran, Turkey, they're going to have this alliance. And they're going to come down from the north and they are going to attack Israel. They're going to descend like a cloud, the Bible says, and they're also going to come horse and buckler. It's going to be boots on the ground and coming like a cloud. What kind of war is this going to be? It's going to look like Israel has lost all hope. So as we see things shaping up, Israel is being pushed more and more into a corner. The threats are getting louder and louder. They are real threats. This will happen. Ezekiel 38 tells us it's not going to happen right now because we know that that attack, that war of Ezekiel 38 comes at a time when Israel is dwelling in peace and security and peace and safety. That term peace, I think it's in verse 11 where the term is used there, means tranquility. Israel's not there yet. They're not in a tranquil place, but they will be. Something's going to give. Something's going to give. As we watch the different dynamics, there's going to be a change. There's going to be a great response from Israel against this Hezbollah attack. What will they do something against Iran? Will it be the destruction of Damascus? What will Israel do? Israel has to respond, and they will respond, and it will be devastating. Don't know when, but out of it, maybe that will be the thing that will lead Israel to a place of going, okay, we've eliminated this terrorist threat, and then they'll be dwelling in peace and safety of Ezekiel chapter 30. Don't know for sure, but we can see all the different dynamics that are taking place. And by the way, just want to invite y'all to come and join us if you can in Temecula, California, coming up November 8 and 9. Temecula, California. We're going to have the End of the World Prophecy Conference. It's going to be absolutely terrific. Have some of the best speakers in the world. We're flying over some people from Israel for it. It will be terrific, but check it out. Just go to the website, Hope for Our Times, and or also on the app. You can find it there, the End of the World Prophecy Conference. Is it really the end of the world? Well, the end of the world as we know it. But listen, Jesus is in control. So we know it's not going to be, but a lot of people are worried that it is. But the End of the World Prophecy Conference coming up November 8, 9, and 10. And it follows directly on the heels of the general election in November, on the Tuesday before. This conference is coming on that Friday. Check out all the information. Go to the website, see what's there. I'm pretty sure you're going to find some things that are going to interest you to go. All right, got a video from Queen Kamala, Captain Kamala. Let's show her what she has to say about defunding the police. Let's roll this video.
Here's the thing, defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. This whole movement is about rightly saying we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priorities. We have for generations now been defunding public schools.
There she is, the tough process.
Yeah, there you go, right? So that's what she says. She doesn't want that video circulating around, but she has said this. She's pushed for it. She's extremely left. She's against Israel. She'll blow through any rights and freedoms that you currently have. She hates you as a believer. She hates Israel. She hates the Jews. She wants to defund the police. She wants to create chaos and lawlessness. She's a perfect puppet. She's amazingly stupid. But you look at this and say, okay, it's a very strange thing. When you look at the last days, the Bible gives us a picture, two things happening at the same time. One of them is lawlessness. Jesus says it. The other is complete control of the Antichrist beast system. How do both of these things work at the same time? Real easy. The enemy of our souls working through his minions here on earth, like cackling Kamala. You create as much lawlessness and chaos as you can to the point where people say, help, save us, big government. And the government comes in and says, I'm here to save you. I will bring you peace and security. I will bring you peace and safety. That's why all this lawlessness is happening. So the people surrender to Antichrist. They won't surrender to Jesus Christ. Jesus has the answers. Listen, Jesus is on the throne. Hey, join me 2 o'clock today. We have a great time. Also back here tomorrow for Today in Prophecy, our daily news update. God bless you.